I was given the discussion to speak on accessing global opportunity. And the Ielts is like a key that you need to unlock a lot of global opportunities. The reason is, while our lingua franca in Nigeria is English, we still have interference from our respective mother tongues. So if Akitayo speaks, you would likely guess that it's Yoruba. When I talk, you'll be able to tell that this guy is an Igbo man. Yeah, no, maybe because I like money. So, and that's how we speak. But we wouldn't know that there is an interference coming more like if an Hausa person speaks, you also know. So the IELTS become a standardization for every one of us. If an English person comes in here and speaks, some of us will have to say something for us to hear. And then you'll be able to find the same thing when an American speaks. That's even tougher. And then it gets worse when a Scottish person talks. Or Irish. I mean, my country director is Scottish. So you need to stop whatever you're doing to hear. So, going back to accessing global opportunities, if we're looking to go work abroad, you need to refer to whatever opportunity that you're accessing. It will always be stated that take IELTS General or IELTS UKVI. Most of the times, it is IELTS General. IELTS Academic is clear, it's for study. While some employers, especially in the UK, will say UKVI. But in places like Canada, Australia, and the US, IELTS General will apply for you to be able to work. Now, they also will say maybe 6, 6.5, 7 is required for you to be able to work. And like I said earlier on, the essence of this is to be able to appraise your English language, your spoken English. If you notice, we're not solving any maths in IELTS. It is testing for your listening, reading, each other one, speaking and writing. So there are 4 components that we're testing. And these are things that we need to communicate in workplace. We'll be speaking, we'll be listening, we'll be reading, we'll be writing. And so that answers your question, right? Yeah, so IELTS General, or you ask the opportunity, is there a specific variant of the IELTS that you would like for me to take, if it's UKVI? So there's a question, it said, how many hours does each session of the IELTS require? So we have listening, we have speaking, we have reading and writing. So when you register for the IELTS, you will get an email. First of all, you'll be profiled to take the speaking test. So usually if I'm going to use another acronym now, LRW, that is listening, reading, writing. So if your LRW is on Saturday, your speaking will most likely be on Thursday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. Now, if you miss, these are some of the opportunities, again, like I said, you will not benefit if you registered on your own. So we have people who came late for their speaking test, or they missed their speaking test. For you to be able to do it again, you have to pay for it. The only premise for which we can grant you the opportunity to take it again is if there's a medical condition, which of course you need to provide medical reports. But if you missed it due to traffic, due to waking up late, for some reason, you would need to pay. However, if you register through your partner, last CVT, all you need to do is reach out to the coordinator. He or she will reach out to either of us to say, my candidate missed this test. What do we do? And then we handle it. You take the test without paying. I hope that's clear. Yeah, so when you take your, and again, so we've done a lot of other things. We have a partnership with Uber. Again, you need to access this through your partner again. So on your test day, for instance, you have the code will be sent to you once you register. It discounts your ride to and fro for almost about 1,500. And now we have a center in Iberia where you can take your test. So as you're registering, you can say, I live around Agor, I live around Yanoba, Iba, where is this place, Michael, and all those areas. You can request to take your test around Iberia. It's close. Before now, everybody needs to go to the island. I remember a school in Water, somewhere in Adobe Water. So their students need to take Ielts. They have to wake these children. They have to leave Diroko at 4 a.m. to be able to get Ikoyi to take the test. So we have decided to decentralize test locations. And like I was discussing with Dreambo, we're also looking to bring it into Lassie. I mean, this facility is awesome. For us to be able to do the test in this place, we will come do an evaluation after this meeting. Another thing that will help us facilitate that is if everybody here registers for the IM.
Yes, definitely.
You know why? Because it tells management that demand is coming from so location. That's the basis for which we open up centers. So by the time we check on our system, we see that people with the address and better, they're registering and coming to Keja or Ikoyi to take their test. Because what we desire, I mean, Kita must have said that earlier on, as a British Council, all of the things that we're looking to do is to be helpful in any environment we find ourselves. So we decide to take the test closer to where the demand is coming from. And so if we have that Ielts being taken in this place, it's not just going to solve Lasso, all the way to down to Badagry, and all the people that come from Idiroko. This place will be closer for them.
Okay, so that's what I'm trying to talk about right now. To tie into that again, I remember my friend that asked the question about the anxiety and all. One of the things that causes anxiety is the first time syndrome. Okay, so you're coming into this great hall for the first time. Sometimes you're like, wow, you don't need here. But imagine you've over the last 4-6 weeks, you've been coming in here to have your lectures or your coaching or your mentorship or anything. So on the day of the exam, when you're sitting back here, you might even have a favorite seat. You feel so relaxed and it's going to be like the normal every day, you know. So that's one of the reasons why, having a kind of relationship with a mentoring center is very important. And luckily for you, you have the last facility sitting right here within your campus here to support you in this. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Akita. So, you see the nervousness, when the person was asking about nerve, I was laughing because it's something we get. So we try to visit test centers on test days to have a feel of what candidates experience. You know, the way Ielts is, once you start, no matter how pressed you are, you can't stand up. So they would have to announce, please go and use the restroom. Because once we start, you can't stand up. We've had people pee on their bodies, we've had people defecate on their bodies. Yes, we've had it. Yeah, we've had it. And that's, you know why? It's because it's an international exam. It's easy for people to say Nigeria and they tag us with corruption because of little things. So, but that will not happen with the British Council. That's why I said some people defecate on their seats. I've been in the exam hall and people defecate there. That's helpless. But why we visit in such kind of visit exam centers in such situation now is to be able to use our discretion to manage situations like that so people do not embarrass themselves again. But like I think I said, when you get used to this environment, it's easier. That nervousness drops. Before now, you won't find the British Council coming out like this to make presentations, not even on a Saturday. You know why? I mean, normally we close the office at 4 o'clock, Monday to Friday. On Friday, we close 12. Monday to Thursday, we close at 4. Friday, we close 12. And the way it works is once it's tired, you close. I don't go home with my laptop. If you're sending any email or calling, it's till the next day. For most of us who have banking background, but most of us have banking background where we know how rough it is and how to manage customers as well. We've come into the system to try to manage all of those systems that have been. And so what we're now doing is going out as we are here now to make presentations and put a face. Like I said, if you register the Ielts on your own, you'll be calling the call center and you'll be getting robotic responses or straight answers. Or if you register and have any challenge, say your email is not correct or your date of birth, these are issues that we usually see. Your date of birth is not correct or you registered for general instead of academic. It's easy to call the program coordinator for LASO Civics. And then they put a call to us. And now they begin to call us on Saturdays, Sundays, and I mean, it's not comfortable, but we want to make it easier. That's why we're doing this. Again, in terms of making you comfortable, there is another offer that you will also not get again if you do your IELTS by yourself. So we're not discouraging you from registering yourself. It's good for you to register yourself, but we're trying to build businesses of innovations. So if you agree with me that the British Council comes here now and makes this place a tutorial center, LASO CBT will be out of business. Yeah, I agree with me. So, and that's not in line with our core values as an organization. We build, we support, we create. So instead of coming to become a tutorial center, and again, as those who administer the center, the exam, we cannot be doing tutorial and be administering the. We will most likely be giving you area of concentration, as AOC, right, as we do in school. So, but what we have done is we've looked at all of the tutorial centers across the country and say how are we going to give them leverage and create a brand association with them, such that you know that these are not people just parading themselves as British Council partners. I mean, as I was coming here, there's a banner that I brought for LASO CVT to show that they are partners of the British Council. We want to give them a round of applause. So what that means is you will be doing a lot directly with LASO CVT. Now, there's what we call Ielts Counselling Service. So this service was pioneered in Nigeria, in sub-Saharan Africa last year. I did the pilot for Nigeria. We had in Sudan, we had in Kenya, we had in Ghana, we had in South Africa, and then we had in the Middle East. So what the IELTS counseling will offer you is, the moment you register for the IELTS, we will pick your name on the database, which again is going to come through your partner. Then you will have the opportunity to do listen the 4 components of the IELTS. So we will schedule, so we'll say counseling service. You will have a mentor call you and give you a calendar, open calendar to say schedule to speak with the British Council IELTS counselor. So they speak to you, you call in for Microsoft Teams. We know Zoom now, Teams. We use Microsoft Teams. So you set up a meeting on Microsoft Teams, and then we will try to understand the purpose for which you want to take your IELTS. so that we don't take academic against general. So if at that point you already registered for general against academic, we can switch it for you at no cost. And then we will give you access to do what we call a familiarization test. So you'll be able to do the Ielts test like a mock exam. You're listening, you're reading, you're speaking, you're writing before the main test. And we will try to know your areas of challenges, your weak areas, and we will recommend study materials to help you. This is going to be a week or two leading to your actual test. So what that will do for you is you already have an idea of what the questions. So the questions you'll be answering in your familiarization test are typically some of the questions or sort of it related to what you'll be seeing on test day. So when you finish your speaking test, so we have teachers around Central Africa, and so you know Nigerians that you'll be speaking to. You'll most likely be speaking to people from Senegal, from South Africa, they will engage you in your speaking test like an interview. They will ask you questions, you answer, they'll be noting. By the end of all your 4 components, they will tell you at this time, your score range is 6 or 6.5. And then you need these materials to be able to improve, to study and improve your score to 7 or 7.5 or 8. Again, you can get that from last week's PDT. Questions, sir?
I want to liken your last statement now to something similar to taking an appraisal test. And listening, speaking, writing, reading. By the time you take that exam, I believe the assessment is based on those 4 components. And it helps you see areas where you have preparation for the exam product. Thank you very much.
Did we get that? So when you take that mock exam, it evaluates everything you have done from your speaking, your reading, writing. For instance, in writing, some of us can do a number of times. You can write repeated words. These are the examiner will outline them and give you a report to tell you that you use this word several, like 10 times. Can you use another word? Because these are the things that examiners will look at. Somebody is raising up his hand. So somebody raising up his hand. There's a question: is it the most that we are going to write a test with an international passport or a printed color data page? Yes. So, with again, if you want to travel abroad, you must have an international passport. So for some of us that are Christians, it's faith without work is dead. I cannot be writing IELTS and I don't even have a national passport. It means I'm not ready to travel. So I will start on getting that passport that I will be speaking to every morning. Then, when in the event that the passport is expired, we recently have gotten approval to use the NIMC, not the slip, but the card. What is the card that looks like an ATM card? That's the one that is allowed now. So if your international passport is expired, you will be able to use your NIMC card. So if you have just been given the slip, you need to work towards getting the final one, which is the card. So that serves for you to register for the IELTS.
Also, in addition to what Banksharon said, I remember when I was speaking earlier on, I talked about a pathway, having a plan, okay? And I remember when the RMO, right? I'm about to ask this question. It's very important for you to have an action plan. Put a timeline there. What are the requirements for me to achieve this? This is where I'm going. What do I do? Remember I told you that the Ielts exam is not that app that takes you there, or that thing that gives that step to gives you that leverage, that foot in the door, even opens up the door and then other opportunities closing. But without it, those opportunities cannot come in. So that's part of the reason why if you are with a center that assists you, that directs you, that mentors, that pushes you on what to do, then they'll be able to advise you that okay, these are the necessary steps you need to take to achieve this, okay? You can actually now, you're scheduling your exam for like the end of October, and not so long like your passport expires end of September. What do? With the registration council, there's no way you only sit the exam with the mode of registration, the ID card you registered with. But when you're with a partner, then you can get that specialized advice. They'll be able to reach out to us directly on what to do and how to do around that. So that you don't have to spend 1/4 of the actual cost of registration to start paying a transfer or deposit or something again. Thank you.
The question here says, how many hours does each session take? So the speaking test typically takes about 15 minutes. So it's like a job interview. You have someone sit here and you see with there's a recorder and ask you questions. So they basically want to know. So they're not trying to get a right or a wrong answer, like I said earlier. They want to test your fluency. They want to test your appreciation of your living in an environment. So one of the questions can be, tell me about last week. What about your school you like? Tell me about this, tell me about that. So something I've seen in speaking tests is you just see people, Nigerians immediately will have accents. And that people. That's the problem already. So, I mean, even if you use Ijebu or Ibadan accent, so long as you're communicating. I can't come in here and start doing big grammar like that Smith or so that really long grammar, and then you end up not understanding anything that I said. It does not make any sense. So it takes about 15 minutes for your speaking test. You will have done, you stand up and tell me thank you very much and good day. They stop the recorder. And then on your LRW, that's your listening, reading, and writing, it takes about 3 hours. Those 3 will be done at the same time. So you won't stand up to go out or come in. So when you come home on Saturday on your test day, you will start with your listening. Somebody has said about losing concentration. That's the biggest challenge in listening. So when you're in an exam hall, sometimes you drift. You can just remember, I'm not paid my bill. And then it is not, if someone speaks to you in your mother tongue, the thing can still register in your head. But this is British English, and they're speaking, you won't even remember what the person said in the past. Another thing is, once you have missed one question, just leave it and move on. So many of the times we're thinking of the other one, and the other one has been said and said and said, and some people end up just going to submit, say, I can't continue. Yeah, so these are tips that your partner will provide for you. It's very important. It's important to arrive on your test day early. That's where you start becoming destabilized and losing focus. It's important to do a lot of practice tests. It's just 3 hours. And that's why we have done the partnership with Uber to ensure to discount your travel by 1,500 to make sure that you get to wherever you're going to. You can use Uber, you don't need to jump far or down to get to where you're or even drive. I mean, I was just telling you about the horrible experience getting to this place. You will see different episodes of traffic on the road. Your adrenaline will become so high that you spot the conductor on the road, you have done all sorts of things. By the time you get into the example, you're already fed up. So it requires a lot of concentration. It requires that you relax and concentrate and take note. So after the LRW, you will do your reading and then your writing. You can use biro or pencil to do your writing. I don't know. You can use any of them to do your writing. Doing your listening. Is there a question online?
Yeah, there's no online.
Or so okay. So global opportunities. I'll try to be careful so that we do not promote what's it called brain drain. But the truth is, there are a lot of opportunities within Nigeria and outside of Nigeria. For you to join the British Council, for instance, you need to do artists. It's another kind of IELTS. So even after going to the university and I graduated, I still did another kind of English check. It's not the British Council. So for some of us who are in the health sector, there is a lot of opportunity out there. But there is a plan for people in the healthcare, for doctors, exams that they write here, and then you get immediate employment. The one that is, sorry? I mean, for engineering students or engineering graduates, you do NEBOSH, and you get a lot of opportunities. Nurses right now are hot cake in the UK because they're in high demand. I mean, like a lot of people get jobs from here to the UK. For, I mean, so many opportunities, and I mean, there's someone came to the office on a Sunday to take an IELTS result because the opportunity was going to expire that Sunday, and I couldn't help out because I mean it's a Sunday. I couldn't go open the vault to bring out the results. So there are so many opportunities. There are also scholarship opportunities that you get for getting certain scores in your IELTS as well, especially in the UK. I know a friend who moved to the UK in January to study data analytics, MSc, and so he had 8. So this was not stated to say if you get this, you would get scholarship, but he had 8 overall in his IELTS. And so he got a further £4,000 waiver for his course, because it's shown, and this is a prerogative of the school. That is not, so it's not, you don't have it in all of the schools in the UK. It could just be that that school had done that because someone had that. So there are a lot of opportunities beyond the UK. I mean, Canada is another market that like half of us in Nigeria are in Canada now. So some of us are also looking to move to Canada, is it not? So there are a lot of opportunities in Canada, both to work. And do you know why? So COVID had made a lot of opportunities. While it came with its challenges, it also opened up the job market. Such that, I mean, there are so many colleagues of ours now in the British Council who are working from different parts of the world. Our office has not been open since March 2020, when COVID started. So, yeah, this is the third time I've seen him in almost 2 years. We've been working from our homes. Yes. So, I mean, I have to go to the office this morning. I'll send to him to get some materials for this session. We would need an approval to get into the office. So COVID has made a lot of things difficult, but I've also created a lot of opportunities. So I can be in Nigeria now and be working for a company in Canada. I can move my house rent from where I'm paying the house rent that is high and go back to my village. I'm going to be working from there where I'm not paying house rent. So there are a lot of opportunities in Canada, both for work, both for study as well. We also have opportunities in Australia. We look at sharing with us markets that we have a lot of movements at this time. There are so many other markets that a lot of us can explore at this time. They require IELTS as well. What can you say about IGCSE as a British Council? What's the benefit and the requirement? Okay, so for some of us, like I said, so IGCSE, I'm not just going to go into the details. It is the equivalent of, say, WAEC or NECO. But again, it is the international exam. The way WAEC is West Africa, IGCSE is international. So if you do IGCSE, you will do chemistry, physics, maths, all the same courses you will do in your WAEC. But like I said, your IGCSE result is accepted all over the world. Why? Because the question that they're asking you on the exam day in Nigeria is the same question in China, the same question in England, and all over the world. And the exams are done at the same time. And there is high level of control. So what the IGCSE also does is, it is a strong pathway for you to gain admission to study abroad, especially for undergraduates. Again, even at postgraduate level or second degree, when you present an IGCSE certificate as part of your documentation for a master's program, for instance, it shows that you have already been evaluated on international standard. I don't know if you get it. So if you send your WAEC result, for instance, if you want to study in Canada, you need to do West African World Education Service. So you send it to West in Canada or West in the US. They will evaluate your WAEC or evaluate your first degree or your master's to appraise it as par to what they offer for WAEC as their own variant of WAEC. So if they check it and they feel they're not comfortable with it, it means that it will not fly. But an IGCSE is already an international exam that is written in every part of the world.
So for the IGCSE, that question, I don't know why that question came up here, but I don't feel anybody here right now requires an IGCSE because that's something like WAEC and under, like someone in SS3 equivalent and under. But if you have family or friends that will be interested in that, definitely British Council has some partner schools. Okay, most times you see some schools like accredited by the British Council or something like that. We have some schools where they run all this curriculum, which shows that those children, even though they are being taught in Nigeria here, Nigerian curriculum, but they have a global perspective. They are being trained and taught with a global view. So that means by the time they finish here in Nigeria and they go into the UK, they're able to pick up easily. And that's why sometimes some of us who study in Nigeria, when you apply for a foreign master's or you apply for something out there, after you've done your 4 or 5 years at the BSc program here, then get and someone tells you that you still have to do like a a 1 year foundation course just to be able to. They feel like they've assessed you and you might not fit in, so you have to do an extra 1 year. But with an IGCSE results, okay, already you are at that level, and then you're going on through the pathway. So a candidate who has been running the IGCSE curriculum might find easy to fit into the IELTS structure because he's been trained right from his basic school through that way and in that right way of answering British standard questions. And like Banksharon was saying then regarding this reading, speaking, and all, I always say this: when you're doing your listening, speaking, and all, don't try and paint scenarios. Someone asks you, tell me about yourself. Don't paint scenarios and start telling stories. Don't come prepared with it and say, oh, what's about me? My name is Akinta. I work for British Council. I'm this. Just normal your day-to-day activity, so you don't have to start thinking of building up a story. When you build up things, it's more difficult. But that will comes naturally to you. And that will just lead to what I always call it, my own fantastic tip. I call it KISS. Keep it simple and stupid. That's what I use stupid, not the other way. I'm telling you, it might sound very simple and stupid, but it gets you there. Thank you, Banksharon.
You're absolutely correct. Keep it simple and stupid. Yes, you know why? To you, it's not making sense. But you know how it is with when you're dealing with people of other race. What you think is stupid is making sense to them. You know how we're dancing and our dance is following a reading. Their own is, when we are playing song and then it's not flowing. So that's why we use that word. So some things might not make sense to you, but it makes sense to them. There's a question here said, can you differentiate IELTS, TOEFL? The TOEFL is also a test of English, but it's American. The grading is not the way IELTS is graded. TOEFL is graded in another way. I won't be able to speak about TOEFL because it's American. If you want to study in America, some will ask you for TOEFL, some will ask you for IELTS. For IELTS, you can use it to study anywhere in the UK, US, Canada, Australia, anywhere in the world. What I usually say when I get this question is, who is English? Where is England? So if you're looking at anything English, you know where to go. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. So if I'm looking for anything English, it's better for me to go to England. I always say my children, I want them to speak British English. So it means that they learn the English on the right place. I think that answers this question. I got a question from the back that says, on the speaking Thursday, who will be speaking to us? Is it a robot, a Nigerian, or a white person? So it's not a robot. So our examiners are mostly black. Before now, we use white people, but we also notice that that makes people uncomfortable. We want to see a white person and speaking something that they not they are uncomfortable. Again, IELTS, like I said, if I take IELTS and I have a 9999 or 88, it means that you like be red, I'll be white, whatever color you are, we are speaking the same. There is a standardization. So why then would I make people uncomfortable with putting a white person in the hall? Do you understand? So, but we use black people, Africans. So you meet people, Senegalese, they won't tell you where they're from. Some of them are Igbos, some are Yorubas, some are from Senegal. Because we use Senegalese a lot as well. Yeah, as because we have a training facility in Senegal, and in Egypt, quite a number of countries. So you have them, but they are black people. You won't know that. You won't know whether they're Igbo or Yoruba. But there's no point even to know, because the person will not speak to you. He will only say hello, welcome, have a seat. You sit. So it tells you this session will start. So the recorder is in front of you on the table. You see, like a phone. And then the moment she starts, she presses it and you start talking. That recording is being transmitted straight to the UK. As that's, I wanted to also mention that IELTS is not marked in Nigeria. Whether the speaking, listening, reading, and writing is not marked in Nigeria. Any IELTS, whether British Council, whether any other IELTS, any IELTS is not marked in Nigeria. Let me tell you something. There is no, we're in Nigeria, so this is some of the things that myself and Akintayo have done to the British Council, where we were talking before, except when we will have our white people, we remain tush and be talking one way. But when we're talking in our own environment, I'll tell you there's no such thing as runs. There's no runs in IELTS. Anyone that tells you that there is runs, you know what I mean by runs now? The person wants to just hit your money. 2 weeks ago, I saw a TRS, that's a test report form. That's like, when a test report form is like your certificate, your IELTS certificate, and it was doctored. the person must have paid about 500,000 for somebody to run seat for them, and the run seat gave them 888. So how did I know? Somebody called me and said, this person that had this 8 and 8.5 has spoken English, is not, it's not a band 8 spoken English. So I'm like, how do you know? He said the person is speaking English and people using Yoruba sometimes. The person will use this kind of thing. So I'm like, can you send me the TRF? Just send me the certificate. So he sent it. By the time I ran it on our system, I saw that the number was not on the system. So what I did was to leave the person. There are two options. We will either arrest the person, find the person, invite the person, and keep the person here, or we let the person travel with it. And the person, when you get immigration, they will not come back. So we choose the second option to let the person travel with it. When the person has traveled and has been apprehended, it's a crime, and the person will not come back. It's a jail crime. So there's no rules. I just keep saying this thing. Like I said, I did many years in banking, and so when I moved to British Council, my colleagues would come to me, how far? I'm like, there's no far in this place, so there's no rules here. I'm telling you the truth. Because, we want to get it, but there's no rules. There's nothing like British Council Ielts is harder. Another person's Ielts is harder. Ielts is a body in the UK. British Council is only administering the Ielts on behalf of the Ielts body in the UK. The exam questions come from the UK. So if you come in, if you have not registered for your test today and tomorrow is the test and you come in today, you can't take it because we need to book you. Question paper and answer state will come in from the UK. We use DHL. There is an MOU that is signed. So nothing, the question paper, myself and Akintayo cannot see it. So as it's coming in, it's going straight into a vault. It's sealed. So there's no, that's the thing about IELTS. And it's not just IELTS, international exams. The control is high. It's very high. You can't manipulate it. So I don't know if we started that style of teaching here. I went to University of Nigeria. The study, am I sounding better like this? So the study there it was a horrible experience for me. Go to lecture, you won't have access to it. You stay in the window and all those things and take your lecture. But that's not how lecture is abroad. It's not the same way. Someone sent me, someone who's just waiting for a master's in the UK, arrived a few days ago. Classes will start on Monday. They have already sent assignments to the person, and I've told him, this is your assignment. The assignment, you need to do it in 2,000 words, plus or minus 10%. I don't know if we know Turnitin. Turnitin is a plagiarism. Your assignment will pass through Turnitin, and Turnitin that is allowed is 19%. When I was doing my master's in Ibadan, it was 21%. But in the UK, it's 19%. I mean assignments, not project. So the Turnitin is a software. It's a software that anything you write, if they give you assignment, you go online, copy paste, submit. By the time they run it on Turnitin, it will show that you have copied, that this is plagiarism, and then it's also a crime. You can be arrested and jailed for it. All right, so I use it through my master. So it's not new.
It's allowed to copy online. When you copy, you can cite reference, but you have to
You can copy, but cite the reference. Again, it only allows, I mean, for UI, it was 21%. So whatever you are copying, citing, it shouldn't be more than 21% of your entire work. So your own natural response or your own write-ups should be about 79%. So when I was speaking to the young man yesterday, he has not, this is his first time of going studying abroad, his master's, and he just forwarded the assignment to me. Can you look at this? I started laughing because if you do IGCSE, you would know that you are not. So the way IGCSE is, by the time the result comes down, it appraises everything that you did, everything you wrote. There's an appraisal and the criticism of everything you did. It breaks down in details. Your result is even broken down in detail. Your result is again compared to your Nigeria average. So if you're doing chemistry, for instance, the result will show what the chemistry average in Nigeria is and what is the chemistry average in sub-Saharan Africa and globally. So they are rating you based on your Nigeria, sub-Saharan Africa, and globally. So it just tells you that, I mean, there is a lot that needs to be done. Do we know how much Ielts is? Say that again. Yes, so before it is still currently 79,000. So if you register for Ielts now, you can still register for it at 79,000. But from October 1, it will become this new rate. So you see, UKVI is 89,500. Like I said, in the UK kind of IELTS. Standard IELTS will be 83,000 from October. But if you register now and you want to take it in December or November, you will register it at 79. But once it's October, it will be 83,000. If you register it from today till the 30th of September, you will register it at 79,000. Again, why I'm saying this is sometimes we will say, I will write this thing. Like me, I've been saying, I will write it. And I've been saying, I will write it for 2 years now. But what happens is, the moment you register for it, then you'll become restless, you start studying, knowing that I'm going to write this thing in October or in November. You start planning for it. So it's important for us to know that some candidates after registration, their centers are splitted. Why is this? Why is like this? Let's see, focus that together. I think I might understand what you're saying. If someone is asking that upon registration, the centers are splitted. Sometimes you do speaking tests in Nigeria, and some other times you do it with others that for you. So once you're registering on the portal, it will show you different locations where you can take the test. So it is you to decide, I want to take this test here. I want to take it in social location or social location. Again, another benefit you get if you register it through your partner and you registered equally, and for some reasons you want to take it by better, there's a new center at this is Demo Road. What's the name of that place again? That's a hotel somewhere on the Demo Road here. You can do your speaking test. So you can reach out to your partner to say, it's really a bit too far. Can I do this test in this place? And then we'll be able to schedule you back in it and you get a new test location. So why we have some of these things, the variations, different, you write a test in Ikoyi and take it to some place is where we're managing demand. So sometimes Ikoyi might be just filled up. And then we think that the weather is close to you and to benefit you, we schedule you and put you in the weather instead of traveling all the way to equally. Any other questions?
So there's a question I got from the back there about the UKVI and where can you register the UKVI? So for the UKVI, you can actually still register that through your agent, okay, through your partner, business partner, just talk to your business partner. Whatever query you need, how they policy, it's best to go through your business partner because I might not be available at all times to answer. Banksharon might not be available, but they are always there. And if it's beyond them, then they have channels. We have some direct channels they can use to access us at all points in time. So for the UKVI, you can still register through your business partner. Thank you.
One amazing thing that we have done is the creation of partners. It's amazing because I know when I registered for the Ielts, you have to go and raise an MC, a draft, and you take it to Ikoyi, come back. Sometimes they will tell you the draft was not signed well. You go back to the bank, and then they will sign it. You go back to Ikoyi. But with your partner, you just do a transfer from your phone to them, and then everything is sorted. You see your. I think we did a couple of books, preparation materials, but that's for people who have registered or will be registering for the Ielts. So I came with some academic study materials and some general study materials. For those who will be registering for the Ielts in this meeting or who have registered for it, we'll give them something. How much is the UKVI academic test? And how long will it be? 70 reach standards. It's right here. It's 89500. UKVI is 9500. Usually, when you take your Ielts, if you take it on computer, your result will be ready in 3 to 5 working days. If you take it on paper, usually 13 days. 13 days you get it, so 13 working days. But towards your 10th, 11th day, you check on the website, you see the results. But the hard copy will not be available till the 13th day. And you do not need to come to the British Council office. So another thing that I have gotten a lot of inquiry on is your results. So when people, they don't put their address. So like I said, once the result is ready, we have partnership with DHL and UPS. They come to the office, they bring the results to your house for you. So you don't need to come to Ikoyi to pick up your results. So it's important for you on that test day to write your address and your telephone number. So people write on the address, and then I get emails to say, I've not gotten I have to ask what's your telephone number, because DHL, they need to call to say, are you at home or is this your address? And then they bring the documents to you. It's critical. 13 days for paper-based. So when we say paper-based, on the system, you will see it as Ielts on paper. That's the new nomenclature, Ielts on paper. When you say computer-based, you will see it as Ielts on computer. Just to clarify that. If there's no question, okay, sir.
Talking about practice questions. Talking at difference in mind, once again. Talking about practice questions and so on and so forth. Is it in form of an e-learning platform? Or in which format? By making reference to an e-learning platform, about the model and standard in which some of these things are being. So in thinking about practice questions and so on and so forth, wherein there is a, after payments, at the point of registration, there is a web interface, a web address, the unique login details with which you can practice some of these questions. Nobody made mention of that. Just to clearance. Thank you.
You know the Ielts very well.
Sorry?
You know about the Ielts very well. So that's something that I also noticed that a lot of candidates do not take advantage of. Once you register, if you look at the footnote of the email that usually sent to you, there's a link for you to do some practice. There's a link for you to do some practice. Then you do a lot of web-based practice. Web-based practice. You do those tests. It's free once you register. Like I spoke about the familiarization test. Next week we'll be in the Southwest. So we're going to go I'm trying to know which one comes first, or Akuya Institute. I'm trying to know which one comes first yesterday night. So Ijebode, Ibadan, Osogbo, Akure, Ilorin, Ekiti, all of those guys by next week. What we're going to be doing is familiarization test. So we're going to go with laptops the way it is here, and then people will come who have registered or want to register, and they'll be able to do the speaking, listening, reading, and writing test on their system. So how the listening works is you just have an earpiece, you have a headphone or an earpiece, you put it in your ear, you plug it on the system, you hear somebody talking to you, and then the person will keep talking and you're answering on the system. Before now, I always done IELTS on paper because I'm more comfortable writing. But I would rather do IELTS on computer now because I'm more computer friendly because we work with it every day. And then it's easier to manage error. You can easily delete, code space. And when you're writing with virus, sometimes when you've done a lot of cancellation and your book is looking untidy, you will already be feeling like you have failed this step before submitting it. Thank you very much.
I remember the first time I thought about when I heard about the computer deliver, what came to my head? I thought of it, computer deliver, that's good. So if they're using Microsoft Word, that'll be a spell checker, so, stuff like that. It's the correct wording, but please, that's disabled. It won't get, it's not there, you won't find it there, so don't be excited about the spell checker. But I remember that came to my head. Secondly, also, Banksharon talked about, what was the thing talked about that one? I was excited about something. When it comes to me again, I'll tell you about it.
The day of the speaking test, I also learned that they're going to assess you based on your dressing. So how are you dressed on that day?
Banksharon does not take that. Okay, so we're all Nigerians, or we're all citizens, and we know what we consider a decent dressing. Okay, we're in an institution right now in LASU, and I know for a fact that my lecturers are not here. You're not assessed on how you dress because it's not like a presentation, but you're expected, like any, to be reasonably presentable. Nobody assesses you that you're wearing Ankara or you're wearing anything. I've been to embassies before for visa purposes and I've seen people come in full religious attire. That doesn't mean that you'll get it or you won't get it. So if you like, you can come to our center wearing your but just conduct yourself in a respectable manner, and be decent. That's very important. Thank you.
If there's anything, we're very big on EDI, which is equality, diversity, and inclusion. So when you're gay, we don't have a problem with it. If you're a lesbian, we don't have a problem. We have people like that in the office. If you use left hand like a teacher, it's okay. And, some of us have superficial beliefs about left handers. I mean, there are some people that don't believe in God. We have as colleagues. Some people don't believe in having children. You have to learn to work with those. I mean, we don't even dress like this in the office. Some of us, we wear shorts. We can wear shorts to work on a normal day. Yeah, you can wear shorts. You can wear polo. It's just because I'm coming for it. We usually wear shirts and shorts or jeans, go to work. That's how we dress. So we cannot now say you're coming for speaking that you should put on a tie or something. You just be comfortable. Whatever makes you comfortable, that's fine.
I remember the days of banking when you have to do that tie and Some banks have specific colors why this is not going. No, I don't know the time. You know,
So when I resumed in the British Council,
the experience.
because I came from banking, so all my clothes are white shirt and tie. So every morning I wear my suit and white shirt and tie. And they're like, who is this serious person? Who is this person? They just kept looking at me like, who is this guy? Who is this guy? You know, I started feeling odd when you see people wearing short and canvas, you see all sorts of dreadful. So gradually I started dropping the. And then I thought at the time was not giving me a lot of pressure. I couldn't think because the time was choking me, you know. And then you're seeing, so the office we don't have, the office is open like this, so if the most senior person can still share today. If they, so you don't say this is my table, my locker, there's no such thing. You don't have an office, it's open, everybody is anywhere. So what that's trying to do is make it comfortable. So I can meet my director, who is a very, very senior person, and we're having a conversation. It just speaks to we being very open and friendly people. People say that they are not friendly and not true, and that's why we're having, and you know, we moved from the formal conversation to an informal interaction with us, so that you're more comfortable with us. I mean, having a conversation or interacting or being informal does not mean that you see, if you approach me now and say, no, so there is always a line between being professional and also being friendly. Thank you very much for your time.